Alan's back in Genoa City and the walls are closing in, which can only mean things are about to get far, far worse before they get better on Young and Restless. Buckle up for twists, turns, and tears. As we know from the Young and Restless weekly preview, Alan returns and takes Tracy by surprise when he walks into their suite unexpectedly. And while it may not have been a total surprise, given that she knew he was flying back from Paris, we're certain her heart was beating out of her chest as she worked to paste on a natural-looking smile and greet him normally, considering she believes he may be responsible for kidnapping Sharon and Phyllis and nearly killing them. The challenge for Tracy is to not let Alan detect her nervousness as she attempts to navigate the unprecedented situation, having to determine whether or not her fiancé is, in fact, the man she fell in love with, or his evil twin. While we have great faith in the abbot's ability to keep her composure, should she look into his eyes and realize that Alan is Martin, and that he is the monster responsible for Phyllis and Sharon's ordeal, things could rapidly deteriorate. The man is nothing if not clever, particularly when it comes to reading people and their psyches, so he'll be aware of even the most subtle of shifts in her demeanor. If he knows that she knows, to put it bluntly, Tracy will be in grave danger of losing her life. Perhaps that's why Tracy makes a distress call early in the week, according to Young and Restless spoilers. Happily, she gets an opportunity to do so, as it could be her only saving grace, her lifeline. We expect the terrifying drama to kick into high gear as Alan/Martin takes Tracy hostage in a last-ditch attempt to evade the authorities. This is usually the point at which the villain confesses to all their crimes and how they got away with it, so that should give us some answers to our burning questions, including, is Alan really Martin? But if the so PR call, there will be a massive twist here. Teasers indicate Sharon and Phyllis will be hungry for justice. Wouldn't it be divine if they were able to turn the tables on Alan/Martin and make him into their labrar as they take their bittersweet revenge, or at least have their say? But they're not the only ones who have been traumatized by this monster. Tracy's sister, Ashley, was the first to be duped and terrorized by Martin, and with Eileen Davidson returning this week, it's clear she'll be in the mix. Indeed, a surprising alliance will team up to take down Alan/Martin, and we predict it will involve Phyllis and Sharon working with Ashley, who they actually considered a suspect in their kidnapping for a few seconds. There's never been any love lost between Ashley and her brother's ex-wives, but they'll have to work together if they want to save Tracy and help to apprehend their tormentor. Sounds like some entertaining and action-filled scenes could be coming our way. Sadly, there will also be tears as we can't see any way around Tracy's heart being utterly shattered. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Summer bumps into Phyllis at the athletic club and is startled to hear her mother say she's headed for Sharon's, and that she managed to say this without any snark. Phyllis explains that Chance wants to speak to the two of them. She's hoping that he has found a way to resolve this kidnapping issue. As Phyllis fidgets, she admits she's still having nightmares and is angry. She's used to bouncing back from worse things, but the mind games involved in this were awful. It hurts that someone got off on her and Sharon squirming. They could be watching her right now. That voice in her head and not going away. Summer says that person only has the power she decides to give them. Her mom agrees. That's something Sharon would say. She won't have peace until the person who did this to her is put away. Sharon throws her purse onto her heap of luggage at home. She's about to take a sip from her water bottle when she flashes back to making Phyllis drink the antidote while they were captive. She snaps out of that when there's a knock at the door. It's Nick, who explains that Christian is with Victoria. He observes that her bags are packed. She says she's excited to see Noah in London. Nick asks if she has room for one more. He's already arranged for the Newman jet to fly them all over. She's amazed and throws her arms around him. Sharon asks what changed his mind. He explains he wants to see his son, adding that he can only go for a few days. Phyllis arrives and spots Nick, asking if Chance summoned him over as well. A giddy Sharon tells her they are going to fly off to London together. She urges Phyllis to go on vacation with her kids too. Phyllis says that will have to wait because she's busy with work, but assures Nick that she's doing all right. He's glad to hear that. Chance arrives, happy they are all there, and says he has news about the kidnapper. They circle him, asking for a name. The cop only has a positive development. They have a hit on the remote device that released the gas, which was bought by someone at a psychiatric clinic outside Paris. That rings a bell for Sharon, who explains that Ashley was treated at such a clinic and Alain was associated with one. Nick notices that the cop has to take that in for a second. They ask Chance what this means. The detective explains that another piece of the puzzle may have fallen into place. All he can say is that the investigation is picking up steam. That isn't making the women feel safer, so he offers to increase their security detail. Phyllis doubts that the cops are up to outsmarting their captor. Chance urges them not to jump to any conclusions, and Phyllis declares she needs this nightmare to end. She can't continue worrying that someone will grab her. Chance pleads with them to trust him to end this nightmare soon. This has to end, Phyllis repeats. At Society, Claire prompts Kyle to tell her about the work he's been doing with his father that had him so upbeat. He tries to change the subject to her day at work. She may not have much experience with relationships, but she can tell he's being evasive. Claire points out how his mood changed when they saw her grandfather. She guesses the issue he and Jacques were dealing with has something to do with Victor. He claims he was just returning one of Victor's shots at him and suggests they need to set boundaries with her grandfather. Kyle reminds her that Victor ruined her mother's relationships. He doesn't want them to be his latest casualties and points out that even Esther thinks they are the real deal. Staying focused, Claire demands a real answer about what he and his father were dealing with and refuses to budge until she gets one. Once he calls for the check, he explains to her that there is an employee they suspect of corporate espionage. He and his dad assume there are more, and they don't know who they work for. Claire doesn't know why he wouldn't mention this. He didn't want her leaping to conclusions. She says she may have overreacted. Kyle wants to put Victor and work out of their minds and suggests they head to the lounge for a nightcap. As Kyle and Claire leave, Summer walks in and gets an eyeful of them giggling. As they walk by, they stop to ask about Phyllis. Summer says she'll be okay. She's tough, and hanging out with Harrison is helping. Summer starts gushing about her son and the drawing that he's been making of her. Claire says she should be proud. Claire and Kyle tell Summer that Harrison has started performing magic tricks and joke about how great he is. Summer forces a laugh and abruptly tells them she's meeting someone and doesn't want to hold them up. Once Kyle and Claire exit, Summer glares out the window at them as they walk away from the building. Chance strolls over and asks if she's okay. She has a hurt look on her face. She waves it off, and they get a table. Chance updates her on telling Phyllis that he has a new lead. She can understand her mom needing closure. The cop muses on how hard it is to feel like you are stuck running in place. From his tone, Summer guesses that he's talking about her, not her mom. Chance tells Summer she can keep lying to herself, but she's clearly jealous of Claire. She tries to play that off, but he's not convinced and urges her to admit it. Breaking down, Summer admits she can't stand that Kyle and Claire are together. Chance nods. Every time she sees Claire, she wants to scream. She hates Kyle, Harrison, and her family adoring that woman and treating her like she walks on water. After she downs a Summer has to take a deep breath. Feeling awful, she admits that she and Kyle were supposed to be each other's happily ever after. Part of her isn't over losing him, especially to someone like Claire. As she apologizes, he says this hasn't been fair to either of them. "What do we do now?" she asks. Audra walks into the jazz lounge to see the all-knowing, all-powerful Victor Newman. He's already ordered her favorite margarita for her. After she takes a sip, she reminds him she can walk away at any moment. He's aware and even points out the exit. When Audra asks what options he has in mind for her, Victor asks if she still has it out for Kyle since he stabbed her in the back. That makes her smile. She reminds him that he's the one who fired her. The mustache says she should thank him for getting her off Glissade's sinking ship. Audra asks what he wants. Victor wants her to be honest about her desire to get even with Kyle and offers to make a deal. When Audra asks what he thought of her work at Newman Media, he says that he and Nikki were both impressed. He was so impressed that he's willing to offer her a division of his company to run. If she'll name her dream job, it can be hers. Visibly stunned, Audra asks what she's supposed to do. Victor explains that he needs her to make it obvious how easy it would be to lure Kyle back into an affair. Audra lets out a bitter laugh and leaps up. Victor asks her to sit back down. He doesn't actually want her to seduce Kyle. He explains his granddaughter is seeing the abbot and he doesn't like it. Victor doesn't need her to be a femme fatale just to show what a weak man Kyle is. If she can do that, he can offer her something far grander than what she could have done with Glissade. I think the choice is obvious, he says. Nate enters the lounge and spots Audra and Victor together. He immediately stalks over and confronts Victor about investigating Damien and warning Lily about him. He breaks the news that Damien is his brother. Well, I'll be, says Victor, acting like this is the first time he's heard it. He urges him to be careful about Damien and Dumas anyway. Nate says he can make his own decisions about who to trust. Looking at Audra, Nate wonders why she's having a drink with the man who fired her. Victor is sure she can decide who she wants to trust. On Victor's way out, she tells him that she will get back to him about what they discussed. Victor tells her not to take too long. Once he's gone, Audra walks to the bar. Nate follows and asks what that was all about. Back at Sharon's, she and Phyllis mull over the little Chance told them. She wonders if Ashley could have planned all this. She does have a history of illness and is capable of something like this. That seems unlikely to Sharon, so they discuss whether Alan could be involved. Sharon explains to Nick and Phyllis that Tracy took a great interest in what she went through. Tracy seemed upset by the details that she rehashed to her. Nick assumed she was only trying to be helpful. Sharon isn't so sure. They discuss Alan hypnotizing her. Phyllis asks if she told him about their history. Sharon says she didn't, and that Michael and Nick were present for the sessions. Phyllis has no idea what to make of all this. They've gone from 0 to 0. Nick noticed Chance's reaction to Alan's name and suspects. He thinks the man is involved. If that's the case, Phyllis suggests they rethink going on a family trip. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, April 8, see Ashley return to Genoa City to chaotic news. Plus, Sharon and Phyllis go for justice while Tracy is in distress. It's going to be a day filled with drama, so you won't want to miss a minute. Ashley has been working on her health for the past several months. She thought that Martin died, and he had pretended to be Alan and caused her a serious break. Now, it seems Ashley is finally doing better. However, she returns home to chaos. Is this going to be a setback for Ashley's health? Meanwhile, Sharon and Phyllis seem to realize that Alan may have had something to do with their kidnapping. Chance neither confirmed nor denied it. However, they've certainly been connecting all the dots from their harrowing situation. Both Sharon and Phyllis want justice. Will they be able to get it before Alan realizes something is going on? It also looks like Tracy realizes something may be up with her seemingly fairy tale romance with Alan. She went from being on top of the world to suspecting her new fiancé of kidnapping Phyllis and Sharon. She isn't even sure the man she said yes to really is Alan. Jack asked Tracy to be careful, but she insisted on heading to Paris to use herself as bait with Alan. Now, Tracy makes a distress call. Will she be in big trouble, or will somebody be able to help her? Chance is very worried about her. On the April 7, The Young and the Restless, Chance reiterated that he was totally on the case of figuring out who kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis. And no, thank you, he doesn't need Phyllis stressing that this is really important to her to motivate him to do his job, and that he was definitely looking into Alan. If he is even Alan. What if the guy Tracy has fallen in love with is really his evil, psychotic, though equally hot and charming twin brother? Chance will fix this crisis. Will he also fix Tracy's broken heart afterward? Just picture it. Tracy confronts Alan. Alan flips out. Tracy tries to defend herself. Drama and tension ensue. Then, at the very last minute, Chance swoops in. There, pretty lady, he will intone in that manly voice of his. I'm here now. Everything will be fine. Here is a hanky to wipe your lovely eyes with. Who wouldn't fall in love with that? As for Chance, well, he hasn't had much love with women since coming to Genoa City. The marriage with Abby unraveled when he caught her having sex with Devon. Then, the relationship with Summer also goes south when she takes offense at Chance doing his job and arresting Summer's brother. Neither of those issues would come up with Tracy. Tracy is perfect. Always. Sure, there is more than a generation of age difference between them. But so what? Tracy definitely demonstrated a taste for younger men when she developed a brief crush on Kane, the husband of her late daughter's best friend. Chance dated Sharon, and by our count, he is roughly her daughter Maria's age, if not younger, so they're both cool with it. Would you be? Is Tracy walking into the line of fire? For the Tuesday, April 8 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos show Tracy wastes no time confronting Alan, but will she get the truth? Alan is back in Genoa City, and things are about to get tense once he gets to his room and Tracy's room at the club. As you can expect, Tracy has many questions for her fiancé, and none of them have to do with the wedding. How will Alan deal with being blindsided? Will this be the moment Alan finally admits what everyone suspects and confesses he's not actually Alan at all? If so, this could be dangerous for Tracy. Martin had no problem killing his twin all those months ago, so it stands to reason he won't take it much easier on the woman he's trying to dupe into marriage. Sharon and Phyllis realize Alan may have had something to do with their kidnapping. The Young and the Restless recap for Monday, April 7, sees Sharon and Phyllis realize that Alan may have been involved in their kidnapping. Plus, Summer confesses to Chance that she's sad about losing Kyle, while Victor enlists Audra to help break up Claire and Kyle. Phyllis ran into Summer at the GCAC and revealed she was heading to Sharon's to hear news from Chance. She hoped the ordeal was over so she could stop looking over her shoulder. Summer felt concerned to learn her mother was still having nightmares. Phyllis said it was the manipulation that haunted her. She confessed the voice in her head hadn't gone away, and it echoed what she expected Sharon might say. Meanwhile, Sharon packed for a trip to London and remembered forcing Phyllis to drink water to save her life. Nick showed up with packed bags and announced he would join her. Sharon was thrilled, and they looked forward to seeing Noah. She told him that Chance was stopping by with updates. When Phyllis showed up, she learned about Nick's travel plans. They encouraged her to take a vacation, too. However, Phyllis insisted work was too demanding. Chance told them that they still lacked a name, but the gas device used in the kidnapping had been traced to a psychiatric clinic near Paris. Sharon connected this to Ashley and Alan, and Nick noticed Chance flinch at Alan's name. Chance claimed the investigation was gaining momentum but couldn't tell them more. After he left, Phyllis wondered about Ashley's involvement, given her health history. Sharon defended Ashley but admitted Tracy was shaken after being told the details. Nick suspected Chance believed Alan was involved, which made Phyllis wonder whether they should cancel the trip. At Society, Claire and Kyle shared dinner, and she sensed he was hiding something. She wondered if it had to do with Victor, but Kyle denied it. Eventually, he told her he and Jack were investigating possible corporate espionage. Claire agreed not to jump to conclusions, and they left for a nightcap just as Summer arrived and spotted them. After a tense exchange about Harrison, Kyle and Claire left. Summer was upset, and Chance joined her. They sat together, and Chance told her that the kidnapping investigation was progressing. He also mentioned that he and Summer had been avoiding deeper conversations. Chance asked about her feelings for Kyle, pointing to her reaction to seeing him with Claire. Summer confessed she couldn't stand seeing Kyle with someone like Claire, and admitted she wished Claire would disappear. She was sad about losing her happy ending with Kyle, and Chance told her it was time they stopped pretending that they could have something together. Audra joined Victor in the jazz lounge. He'd already ordered her drink. Victor reminded her she could walk away anytime and brought up her grudge against Kyle. Victor suggested a plan that involved luring Kyle back into an affair. Audra was offended, but he clarified he wasn't serious about seduction. In the end, Victor wanted Claire and Kyle to separate. Victor promised her a high-level position if she helped and hinted it would be more than what she had at Glissade. Nate interrupted their conversation. He was suspicious of Victor's motives, especially with respect to Damien and Dumas. As Victor left, Audra told him she'd think about his offer. Nate asked what was going on. He was obviously concerned about her involvement with Victor. Genoa City has seen its fair share of shockers, but nothing, and we mean nothing, could have prepared fans for this twisted mother-daughter alliance. Phyllis Summers and her daughter Summer Newman are reportedly plotting something so dark it could land them both behind bars, or worse. Their target? The seemingly sweet, yet secretly controversial Claire Grace. And the motive? Love, or rather, revenge. Summer Newman has never gotten over Kyle Abbott, and it shows. While the two share a complicated history of love, lies, and second chances, Kyle's growing bond with Claire Grace has pushed Summer over the edge. Kyle deserves better. Summer was overheard saying during a tense phone call at Society, "She's manipulating him, and if he can't see it, then we'll make him see it." But making him see it may be more dangerous than anyone imagined. Enter Phyllis, the queen of chaos and manipulation. When she learned of Claire and Kyle's budding connection, she didn't just raise an eyebrow, she rolled up her sleeves. "No one hurts my daughter and gets away with it," Phyllis reportedly told a friend in confidence. "If Claire's standing in the way, we'll remove her." And now, insiders say the two women are working together on a plot that could bring Claire down permanently. The rumors are flying. Whispered conversations, deleted text messages, and mysterious activity from Phyllis's burner phone. One source close to the situation claims to have seen Phyllis and Summer meeting with a discreet fixer outside of Genoa City, someone with a shady past and a price tag. The question is no longer if they're plotting something, it's how far they're willing to go. There's talk of planting evidence, one insider claims. But there's also darker talk of making Claire disappear entirely. Claire Grace may appear innocent, but let's not forget her own mysterious past. She's no stranger to manipulation, and might already suspect what's coming. In fact, she's been seen speaking with Victor Newman on multiple occasions, and we all know Victor doesn't waste time with anyone he doesn't find useful. Could Claire be planning a counterattack of her own, or will she fall victim to the Summers women's fury? And then there's Kyle, completely unaware of the storm brewing behind his back. Friends close to him say he's falling for Claire hard, and he's been trying to keep peace with Summer, but may soon discover that his ex-wife isn't as harmless as she seems. Kyle's about to find out just how dangerous love can be, teased one show insider. This isn't just jealousy, it's a full-blown obsession. The fan base is in shock, and social media is ablaze with reactions. Will Summer and Phyllis go through with their sinister plan? Could Kyle discover the truth in time to save Claire? Or will he be blindsided by the women who once claimed to love him? One thing's for sure, someone is going down. And in Genoa City, the line between love and hate is razor thin and always dangerous. Tuesday's episode of The Young and the Restless plunges viewers straight into the heart of Genoa City's volatile drama, where revenge simmers and secrets threaten to boil over. The power struggle between the Newman and Abbott families hits a new high as Jack Abbott confronts Victor Newman with a chilling ultimatum. Back off from Kyle and Claire's budding relationship or prepare for war. Jack's stern warning reminds everyone that not even Victor is above consequences. But Victor, ever the strategist, refuses to be pushed around. Irritated by Kyle and Claire's defiance, he plants a dark seed of vengeance in Audra's mind with a loaded question. Have you ever thought about getting revenge on Kyle Abbott? His behind-the-scenes manipulations suggest a power play is about to unfold that could tear the Abbott family apart. Elsewhere, a mysterious subplot brews between Tracy and Alan. While enjoying a quiet moment together at a luxurious suite, Tracy is unaware that Alan may be hiding a shocking secret about his identity, possibly connected to the Abbott legacy itself. Questions swirl: is he really Alan, or could he be Martin in disguise? Meanwhile, heartbreak explodes when Allie discovers Adam's betrayal. He slept with his ex, Chelsea. The revelation echoes past wounds Sally Spectra endured, highlighting the recurring theme of emotional betrayal. While Sally has moved on with Billy, Adam's lingering connection to Chelsea complicates everything. Still, some fans wonder if Adam and Sally's deep-rooted bond could spark a renewed connection. And what of the elusive Aristotle Dumas? Whispers grow that he may not be a true enemy at all, but a smokescreen for something more sinister. As loyalties shift and revenge looms, Genoa City braces for explosive consequences. No one is safe, and every alliance is just one betrayal away from collapse. A Poiler's title: Sharon and Phyllis rescue Tracy. Tracy's life falls into Martin's hands. And our spoilers next week. Next week on The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers put their differences aside and join forces in a dangerous high-stakes mission to bring down the elusive and manipulative Martin Laurent, a man with a shadowy past and a sinister present. As Tracy Abbott's life hangs by a thread, Sharon and Phyllis concoct an intricate trap designed to expose Martin's true identity and bring him to justice. Tracy, ever the resilient fighter, finds herself in peril when Martin, seeing through her attempt to call for help, takes her hostage. He sweet-talks her with twisted promises of a new life away from Genoa City, hoping to manipulate her into submission. But Tracy isn't fooled. She sends a desperate signal to her brother, Jack Abbott, who quickly mobilizes a backup team to intervene before it's too late. Meanwhile, Chance Chancellor uncovers a critical clue: a psychiatric clinic in Paris with ties to Martin and a string of crimes involving gas-powered devices used on victims. As he connects the dots between Alan and Martin, Chance becomes convinced that more is at stake than a simple kidnapping. As the trap closes in, Sharon and Phyllis execute a bold plan, intercepting Martin at the critical moment. Their surprise arrival disrupts Martin's control, forcing him to make a move he hadn't calculated for. What follows is a gripping confrontation. Phyllis and Sharon, no longer rivals, stand united to outwit a seasoned manipulator. Will Martin escape once more, or has he finally met his match? As Jack's team breaches the hideout and Chance narrows in on the truth, the fate of Tracy Abbott and the future of Genoa City hangs in the balance. Expect explosions of truth, power shifts, and a showdown fans won't forget. Is Claire's mysterious disappearance the end for her? Kyle's deadly revenge plot unfolds. Is Summer really the culprit? In the latest shocking twist of The Young and the Restless, Summer's jealousy reaches a boiling point as she struggles with Kyle's budding romance with Claire. Long simmering resentment, tied to Claire's past interference with her family, prompts Summer to lash out in an emotional confession. Summer's anger isn't just about a new relationship. It's about Claire's history of ambition, manipulation, and the painful scars she's left on Summer's life. With Chance pushing Summer to confront her true feelings, viewers witness a powerful outburst where Summer accuses Claire of stealing everything that was once hers. This confession marks a dramatic turning point, suggesting that Summer's words could signal Claire's eventual exit from the storyline. While physical violence seems unlikely, Summer's venomous words may kickstart a series of events that lead to Claire's disappearance, whether through a kidnapping, accident, or a more subtle plot to remove her from the family dynamics. As tensions rise, Kyle finds himself caught between Summer's fierce opposition and his own romantic feelings for Claire. The fallout from Summer's fury threatens to unravel the delicate balance of power within the Abbott family, leading to new alliances, betrayals, and unexpected twists. With Chance's investigation into Summer's emotional state, the possibility of a major shift in Claire's fate looms large. Could Claire be involved in a mysterious accident, or is Summer's wish for her disappearance about to become a self-fulfilling prophecy? This explosive confession sets the stage for the ultimate showdown, and fans are left wondering just how far Summer is willing to go to keep her rival from Kyle's life.